Yes, we are live. Good morning, everyone. From Atharva Institute of Management Study, and I welcome you to all to IT Talks, an IT awareness program powered by IQAC. IQAC is a internal quality assurance cell. Through this, we have arranged this IT awareness program initiated by us. We student and the faculty of IT department tries to reach out everyone within the institute as well as outside the institute, where we will discuss the general topics related to IT and tries to clear out all the doubts. That's why we think there is a need of IT awareness, and we want to share our knowledge. So we invite people who can talk a little bit about IT more. My name is Pranav Kamble, and I am one of the students of Atharva Institute of Management Studies in Systems IT department. After successful of completion of episode 1 and 2, uh, in episode 1, the certified ethical hacker Dr. Devarshi Pallavi Bhatt ma'am share the knowledge on the need of information security like never before. In episode 2, one of the youngest dean of the India, Professor Vikas Parikh, share the valuable knowledge on cybercrime with women issue and countermeasures. Now we are excited to introduce IT Talk Show episode 3, in which we try to make this experience enjoyable and informative to all. It's my honor to be introduced, Mr. Rahul Mehta, sir, to be honored to be a part of this show, where I am the host and I will talk with the guest of Talk Show episode 3. So we have the Mr. Rahul Mehta, who will give us the insight on ERP solutions and services. Mr. Rahul Mehta is a management technology consultant with over 20 years of experience in the IT industry. He is experienced in multiple HR, CRM, and ERP solutions. He did specialization in pre-sales, SaaS, HRIS, and organization change management. He has also has a opportunity to work with the Tata Consultancy Services (TCS) for an about 14 years, during which he was taken up various leadership roles and worked with the client across the globe and industries. He is a avid speaker, career development facilitator, mentor, and the faculty of management studies. He also has an author of book A Monday at 40, and he also did a master of management studies in systems IT. So let's begin with today's topic: enabling business with cloud-based ERP solutions. So sir, good morning, first of all, sir.
Good morning, Pranav, and thank you very much, Atharva Institute of Management Studies, for having me today on this show. I have been participating in the previous two shows. I mean, it's some excellent work that you students are putting up along with the management of the
Thank
institute. So thank you very much once again.
Thank
I'm
you,
looking
thank you,
forward to this.
thank you, sir. So sir, first of all, welcome. And so we heard a lot about ERP. So can you explain the what is exactly ERP?
Yeah, first fundamental question, yes,
Yes,
Pranav. So, see, ERP consists of
yeah,
three words. Okay, the first word is enterprise. The R stands for resource and P for planning, right? So when I say enterprise, what does an enterprise do? An enterprise tries to, it's an organization of, resources to achieve some kind of objective, right? Enterprise can be called a company, an organization, right? Or a group of people who are actually getting together to accomplish
yes,
something,
sir.
right? Now, for the enterprise to achieve their objectives, you need resources. Right. Now, resources, most of us must have heard in our graduate programs also or in school. What are the four M's in from a resource perspective, right? If even people who have joined in, they can also type in what is the four resources, what are the four M's of the resources that you must have studied in economics or principles of management in your engineering or right. So the first M,
Yeah,
yes, the materials that is required is the resource, money, you require money for
yes,
running the enterprise, men or the workforce basically,
yes, yes,
right? So men, material, money, and of course the last piece, which stands for your, it's your, I'm just forgetting it. So machines, yes. So
yes,
machines
sir.
would be the right
Machine.
thing here. Okay, so
Yes,
you require certain machines to do your work. So these are four major resources that you require from an enterprise perspective to actually achieve the objectives. Now, why are these resources? Resources, need to be managed. They are finite in number. They are not available infinite for us. So they need to be managed because they need to get deplete. They will get depleted, right? So in order to manage them, we need to plan for things, right? So how we do in our daily lives, that we have to plan our budget so that we control our expenses and costs. We know what is it that is going to happen. So the last alphabet, which is P, which stands for planning. So
Yes.
enterprise, resource, and planning. So if I put this all three things together and would like to give an enterprise perspective to it, I would say it is the effective and efficient procurement. What do you do with resources? You buy resources first,
Yes.
then you will deploy them, then you will utilize them, okay, then you will develop them into better things, and then ultimately retire them. So it is the
Yes, sir.
effective and efficient procurement, deployment, utilization, development, and retiring of resources so that the enterprise can achieve its strategic objectives. Right? So that is the definition, I would say, from a enterprise perspective or a business perspective.
Yes.
Now there are two other aspects to it also. So one is at a business level. So as a management student, we need to understand, yes, it is at a business level. Then we go one level below, which is at a process level. Now, what is a business process? In order to achieve that objective, the enterprise conducts a set of activities, right? It will do certain tasks.
Yes.
Everyone will be doing it. Today, when you set up this entire IT Talks program, you went through a certain set of steps, right? In order to achieve
Yes, sir.
this kind of objective, you have a set or a sequence of process steps that need to happen. Now, these process steps cannot work in isolation. So today, you would be not the lone role you have, yes, the coordinator of the program, you have the director, you have the management of the institute, you have Dr. Shubhi, who is also participating in taking the entire program altogether for you. So
Yes, sir.
if all these things to come together, similarly in the enterprise, to execute this set of business processes, you have different kinds of functions that will participate in order to accomplish that activity or accomplish that process. So if I say regarding a sales process, if a salesman goes to sell something, the salesperson needs to understand what is the product, when it can be
Yes, sir.
delivered, whether my manufacturing person can actually make that product or not, right? And how is it going to be delivered to the customer? So there are various
Yes.
functions which integrate with each other to accomplish that task. So ERP enables, integration of or cross-functional integration of these functions and also the information flows associated with it. So that is from the process perspective.
Yes, yes.
Now we all understand processes are enabled by what? Technology, right? So
Hmm.
technology is the next aspect of ERP solutions. Now, when I say all these processes, one basic aspect that I would tell you because of this systems aspect of it, that you can automate or you can automate things only when it is can be defined in process steps. If you can't define it in a process step, please do not automate it because it will lead to ultimate failure. Okay, without a business
Yes,
process,
yes.
you cannot automate anything. So what the ERP does is integrates various functions, the information flows. It provides a common platform across which the enterprise can interact with each other, and it falls under a unified database. Okay. So there are three
Yes.
perspectives from a management side that you should understand from an ERP perspective. ERP. One is from the business side, where it means managing or effective and efficient management of resources from the process perspective, where you're talking of cross functional integration. And third, from a technology perspective, where you're looking at a common platform and a unified database in which all the information is gathered. Right. So that's
Yes,
how
Satish.
I would see ERP as.
Yes, sir. So now we know the what is ERP solution. So I would like to know what is the evolution from the ERP from the first generation to till now. ERP must have some history, and they just improve the all the processes and planning. So what are the what is the evolution in ERP?
Right. Again, a very good leading question, Pranav. Yes, it's an very interesting story where this all has started. And before this particular digital revolution, you had one more revolution before in the previous century. What was it? What was the revolution that was there in the previous century? So the industrial revolution, which happened in 1900s, right? So when industrial
Must be introduction
revolution,
of internet.
no, even before the internet, so previous century, so in the 1900s, you had
Yeah.
the industrial revolution that happened. So the evolution of ERP has started during that time. Okay, when new industries came into place, mechanical automation was was getting established. People were establishing factories. Okay, and at that point in time, a lot of processes became evident. So it was year 1913. I think it started on what I've read is yes, 1913 is when there was a production engineer called Ford Whitman Harris. Okay. He introduced a concept called economic order quantity.
Okay.
Now, why he had introduced it, there's a background to it also. So 1930 was kind of the World War One timeline, and there was an immense pressure on optimizing costs. Okay, so the first thing you see in a manufacturing scenario, most of the raw materials would be costing you around 60 to 70% of your cost or your direct cost. So if you manage that, you can optimize your cost timeline. So that is where Ford Whitman Harris said, okay, let me bring out something known as an economic order quantity. It's nothing but how much quantity should I buy from the supplier in order to make
Yes.
something. Okay, so it is a simple aspect of how much quantity should I buy and when should I buy it. Okay, depending upon that. So he created a small formula for it, and manually on paper he used to do this economic order quantity. Now this particular theory became quite famous, and most of the manufacturing industry started using it. So this was the first time that people started to you know actually manage the raw materials and inventory in a scientific manner. As a next step, as we progress further, there was a lot of new programming language that were coming into place. So there were these transistors, and electronics was getting a edge during the World War II times. Okay, so
Yes.
you had programming languages like Pascal, C, okay, which came into place. Uh, uh, People started to develop small applications on inventory control. Okay, so they know how much I have to buy. Now they also started to program and say, okay, let me build an application. There was no white hat junior that time, so
Yes.
so they had to program it themselves, and then do yes uh, develop inventory applications and say, okay, I know how much to buy, so let me see how where to store it. Let me also manage how much has been given out for production. When do the reorder levels come into place? So they started building those small applications. The turnaround came in 1960s, where you must have heard of a company called Black and Decker, which is a tools and automation
Yes.
company. They have the drilling machines and okay. So they were the first to actually computerize this entire concept. Okay, so they built an inventory control system plus the economic order quantity together, and that was the first evolution of ERP, you could say, which was known as materials requirements planning. So now people knew what was there, what we had to make. Okay, how are we going to make it, what it takes to make it, and how do we get what we need to make. Today, suppose if I have to make 100 bicycles, okay, I know that yes, I will need two tires in a bicycle, one seat, one frame, one handle, okay, one probably a bell or something like that. So I know what it's going to buy. The next thing I will check in my cupboard, yes, how much have I got, how much raw
Yes.
materials I got to buy the to make this particular bicycle? And then I will suggest, yes, this much is something that I will need to purchase from outside, new raw material. So this was computerized in the first form called as MRP. And then next
Yes, sir.
further it progressed further. It said, okay, this is working in isolation, and let's see what else can we do. Okay, so now I need to understand, yes, I know where to get it from, what it gets to make, everything's done. Okay, so to build further intelligence into it, what will I do? I will connect, yes, okay, Pranav, tell me in 1 year how many bicycles I have to make. So what will Pranav tell? He will give me the business plan for the entire year,
Yes.
right? So the planning of the operations also got integrated with it. Okay. Then as an operations person, what will I do? Okay, oh yeah, Pranav has given me to build 100 bicycles in this year. Okay. Do I have the machines for it to build that? Do I have the manpower for it to build that? Okay. So the next thing that came into place was capacity planning. Okay. So once I knew I had the machines, I had the workforce to make this aspect, I also was thinking, Arey, Pranav has asked me to build 100 bicycles. Does he want it on 31st December, or does he want it quarter on quarter? Every quarter he needs 25 bicycles. Okay. So that brought about scheduling of delivery. Now all these three aspects got integrated to what we known as a closed loop ERP, which is known as MRP2. Okay, or it was also to differentiate between the first one. The first one was material requirements planning. This was manufacturing resource planning. That was the next evolution. Okay. Till now, you will see finance and accounting, ERP, finance and accounting, HR, or something has not even come into place. So that was the next thing that came into place. So to manage my back office operations, I also integrated finance and accounting and HR along with it. Okay. So that was the first definition, or that's the first time when the actual word ERP from a technology standpoint came into place in around 1980s. Okay, not before that. Okay. And then post that you had people when the internet came in, that was the first revolution of the modern ERP solution, where you had where you could connect to various places very easily through the internet. And then 2008 2009, I would say in the 2008-9 frame, you had the advent of people getting used to cloud. Okay, cloud based solutions came into fore. So that is where people actually started to migrate onto the cloud during this time. So that's a in particular the journey from, right from pen and paper, where you started from EOQ to right to the modern cloud-based ERPs that we have in the market today. Sorry, I cannot hear you, Pranav. No, I'm not able to hear you. No, no, I'm not able to hear you, Pranav. Yeah, I'm not able to hear you at all. So, fine, you can keep testing, I think. Okay, while Pranav gets this sorted, any questions from the audience that I can take up? Right, so it's been an interesting journey on the ERP front. And of course, now we are in the era of cloud solutions. Uh, No, I'm not able to hear you, Pranav. Can you directly connect to your laptop rather than from the mic or the speaker? Yeah, Pranav, I can hear you now. I can hear the.
Yes, hello, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, yeah. So my question was actually, so we you talk about the cloud,
yeah,
sir. Yeah. So what is meant by cloud and what is the ERP on cloud, sir?
yeah. So cloud is not the one which we see in the sky. Okay. So
Yes,
from
sir.
a technology perspective, many of us have been associated with the cloud technology. We use it in our daily lives also. Okay. What I've
Yes.
seen, most of us are very familiar with. Where do you store your music, Pranav?
Now
Do
I
you
am using the Ghana or Sawan.com like that. So
right?
I'm using cloud.
So you're using cloud. So what does that mean? That you're using certain resources that are available through Ghana or through
Yeah.
Spotify or whatever to entertain yourself. So similarly, in the cloud scenario, okay, you have access to shareable computing resources. Okay, when I say computing resources, okay, let's break it down here. So computing
Yes.
resources, I would like even the audience to imagine, yes, a PC in your home or a desktop at your home. Okay, so what do you see in the first place? You see the CPU,
Yes.
right? So what does it consist of? What is there inside that CPU?
Uh, it's actually ALU and all.
Okay,
Arithmetic, yeah, it's consist of two things like ALU, arithmetic logical unit, and control unit, CU.
right. So you'll have your motherboard,
Yeah.
right? And,
It's all.
and you'll probably have a hard disk inside.
Yeah.
So
Yes, sir.
so the motherboard is giving you the computing power,
Yes.
whereas the hard drive is giving you the storage,
Storing power.
right?
Yeah.
So we got two components of the information system. One is the infrastructure, which is the motherboard, whereas the storage part is given by the hard disk that you have, right? Now you have so
Yes.
many applications running on it, right? So it is the software that you are using. So that's the third layer which is there on top.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so the infrastructure, storage, and the software aspects to it. Right? And in between, you also have certain things. Now, today, many a times there are applications where you can design your own, applications altogether. There are platforms which give you that particular access where you can design your own applications and then play around with it.
Yes.
Right? So these are all, they provide you the operating system as well as certain plugins to actually make the system. Right? So
Yes.
these are four different kinds, and also networks that are there. So these are all computing resources that one has access to at any point in time. So they can access it anytime and then use it and pay for it, or if it's free, or they can subscribe to that particular service.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So a very simple example I can give you in daily life is, yes, let's say Pranav, you got a nice Innova car,
Yeah.
okay, to travel to college every day.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first part is, yeah, you're really excited. Yes, let's get into the Innova car. It's the new modern Innova car that you have,
Yes.
and you're going to college every day. But then all of a sudden you find, boss, I've got this huge car and I'm driving all alone. Okay. So let me utilize this much more better. So you call up your friends and say, okay, guys, I got this damn good new car. And if you all want to join me while going to the college, please join in. Okay, so now
Yes.
you have this entire infrastructure ready with you, and you are allowing users to access it for going to the college. Similarly,
Yes, sir.
a if you're a gaming person, so gaming machine, if you've got a very powerful gaming machine and a server with you, and you're not utilizing it to the fullest, you might invite other people to use that particular resource for yourself, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
that's what cloud does. It gives you, it's kind of on demand. Okay, so whenever you require, it will be available, right? and you can access those network resources in variety of combinations. So you can just have infrastructure, you can just have so when you say when I say infrastructure as a cloud, yes, you have I could put an analogy to data centers. Okay, so data centers are available for people to
Hmm.
use, right? Then you have infrastructure and storage and also certain platforms. So you have something like AWS, Amazon Web
Yeah.
Services,
Yes, sir.
right? So which will allow you to develop these applications, give you storage, will give you infrastructure also. You need not worry about what is the computing power and all. And the
Yes, sir.
third combination could be you take the entire, lock, stock, barrel. You have the software, infrastructure, and the storage as well as the platform together. Okay. So these are known as software as a service solutions. So Salesforce.com, then Success Factors, all of these are like software as a service. That is, the software can be used by the subscriber and kept as it is. They need not worry about what is the underlying infrastructure, what is the computing power, what is the storage space. All that is managed by the vendor who is
Ye-
providing it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Similarly, in case of Ola, when you must have
Ye-
booked an Ola sometime, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
Ola, when you book in Ola, what is the objective? You want to go from one place to another. You will not worry about
Yes.
whether it is four power windows or alloy wheels or 100 or 5000 cc engine or something like that, right? Or what is the
Yes, sir.
mileage?
Yes,
You are just paying for the service and get out,
yes,
right?
sir. Yes,
You will not ask the Ola driver, yes, sir, how much mileage
yes,
is it getting? So similarly, in
yes,
the cloud area, the entire bundle is managed by the vendor, and that is provided on subscription to the subscribers or the users of the service.
yes, sir. So, it is must be some beneficial benefits of clouds. So, what is the difference between the ERP on cloud or ERP without cloud?
All right, that's also a good one. So here ERPs, you have to take into consideration when cloud came into existence. Okay,
Yes.
so 2000s previously also there were some cloud-based solutions before 2007 also, but still it was not adopted very well. Okay, so 2007 we had seen a year of Great Depression, 2007 2008. Okay, where there was a economic slowdown altogether all over global. We had recession coming in. Now, if you see, IT is a cost,
Yes.
but it has become a necessity also, right? So now, earlier vendors used to do something known as on-premise. Now, what is on-premise? On-premise means it is an opposite of cloud, where the
Okay.
customer has themselves invested in the infrastructure, the storage, the application, and are managing it also. Now, as a management student, what would be the difference? Okay, here if I'm purchasing something, now just let's take an example of the Ola
Yeah.
itself. Okay, so today you wanted to go from let's say Kandivali to Dadar, right?
Okay.
Now I tell you, boss, there's no Ola or public transportation available. You either walk or you buy your own car and go. Okay,
Yes.
so you go to the next showroom over there, and it's a Rahul Automobiles and Cars, and you
Yes.
purchase a car worth 12 lakhs from there, and then go to Dadar, right? So what have you incurred
Yes.
here? You have incurred a capital
Hmm.
expenditure. Okay, this is similar to what is an on-premise solution. Here, the customer is investing in buying the entire infrastructure for fulfilling or addressing the business requirements. Whereas if you are going in Ola, you are paying how many? Maybe 500 rupees for it,
Yes.
right? So
Yes, sir.
12 lakhs
500.
versus 500 rupees. Okay. So what is 500 rupees? It's an operational expense where you're going to incur that operationally. So this idea was applied by the vendors, the service providers, saying that customers, don't worry, we know your business is not doing well. So we will try and optimize your cost further. So they said, okay,
Yes.
we have invested in the infrastructure and databases and software and everything. We have got the support teams also ready. So you don't need to invest. we have invested it in. You only subscribe to this particular
Service.
application
Yes,
service.
sir.
So at that point in time, when you had the smartphones also coming in, where you have a lot of applications being done through mobile. Now, this was all aimed at reducing costs of operations. Okay,
Yes,
and that is
sir.
where the next generation of from cost optimization to business enablement started. The journey of business enablement. Okay. Now, the advantages that you have, and both I would say pros and cons here. Okay. Now, people used to prefer on-premise solutions because they had their own flexibility. Okay. Why do you have a car? I can go out anytime. I'm not dependent on anyone. I can put red, yellow, green in my car. Okay. I can put LED lights in my car. Okay. Ola guy will not allow you to put
Yeah.
LED lights, right? Right. So
Yes, sir.
I could have the solution customized to myself and use it. Okay? Whereas, what was the advantages in cloud? Cloud said that, okay, boss, here's the cloud solution for you. Okay, I'm going to convert the entire capital expense to your operational expense. So it's definitely going to cost you a little less money over the 5-year timeline period or 7-year timeline period. Second, we understand you are in the depression right now, but the only way is up if you're running a business. So what happens tomorrow if you grow your business from, let's say, 100 users to 10,000 users? So again, you'll have to purchase some new infrastructure. Rather, as a cloud provider, we will give you the facility to scale up. Okay. So they got the facility here to completely scale up the operations. So that was one big advantage that they have got. Okay. The third aspect, now cloud solutions, you all are using cloud solutions. Right? Even in Gmail, today we know inbox is on the left hand side. You can get various line items on the inbox line items on your right hand side. You have certain things on applications on your right hand side corner. So it brought about some kind of standardization. Okay, so standardization of the entire process. They said, boss, enough of customization and all. We are giving industry best practices, industry norms that are there, which can be followed very easily. Okay. Today, if there are some HR folks on the call, a big, very hot item is yes, the legal codes being changed. Okay, for your workforce, how your legal codes are going to impact your wage components. Okay, now there are service providers who are experts in this. So each and every enterprise need not have that expertise. They can actually subscribe to that expertise from different service providers and manage this particular change. Okay, so it gave some kind of standardization. Okay, it gave something known as faster go to market. Today if I want to set up a business here, today we are as in India, there is a lot of promotion being given to make in India. There are a lot of supply chains which are shifting from China into India, right? Now if they're shifting from China to India, okay, they will require some kind of infrastructure setup to run their business operations, right? So they want to run their business operation. They should be ready on day zero. So what do we do? Yes, okay, boss, don't worry. We have got an ERP available for you, which we have hosted on our solution infrastructure and everything. No need for capital expenditure. You can simply subscribe to this and get it done. So it is enabling customers to also go to market faster. And last but not the least, you can access your Gmail account from anywhere, any and everywhere. If today you are in Pune and tomorrow you are in Maldives or you are in Switzerland, will you be able to access your Gmail account? Yeah, Pranav? Yeah, I can't hear you once again. Yeah, you are saying yes, I can lip read you. So, so yes, so you can access it from anywhere, and that's the advantage. You get a global coverage in today's environment or today's business. The workforce is not concentrated at one place; it is distributed all over the world. Yeah. Yeah, you are audible now. Yes.
Yeah. So So yes, I totally agree with you, sir. So, but what are the concern customer have to while migrating the ERP solution into the clouds?
Okay. So the concerns here, yes, the advantages were on the more from the financial perspective. Now,
Yes, yes,
the concerns were more from the, so when you have money, what are you concerned about?
how
If you
to say
have,
that?
if today you are having a lot of money in your pocket, what are you concerned about?
Mm, to not
Not
to
to
lose
lose it.
that, or to how
Yes,
to say?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And for businesses, data is the new money.
Yes.
Okay. So businesses were concerned, the boss, if I'm going to migrate all this data onto your cloud, is it safe?
Yes.
So
Yes.
that was the biggest concern that businesses had. But now, with the evolution of the cloud technologies and all, there are a lot of certifications, there are a lot of security certifications available. We have heard that in the previous talk shows also regarding the cyber security aspects. So you have ISO 27001, which is something that you should ask for. There are tier 3 data centers that you should look into. There are SSC, ISA audits that are done for security purposes. When you are on the cloud, you should ask the vendor regarding whether they have a business continuity plan or a disaster recovery plan altogether. So these are some of the ways in which you can actually reduce the concern of the security concerns which people have. Okay, but otherwise, I would say security is good until the time it's broken,
Yes. Yes.
right? Today, can you tell me who has the highest amount of security in this world? Which person?
Uh, maybe Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, or I would say, yeah, the president of the United States.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they would be
Yeah.
having the best cover. Okay, but
Yes, sir.
the irony is, despite of having this particular security cover, it's the most number of times it has been breached.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, and fatally breached. So its security is as good as till the time it is breached. Okay, so there is always an attempt to increase it further. Okay. Second concern that they had was regarding data migration. How do you migrate so much data onto the cloud? Today, I'm giving you what I had in my premise or in my servers, and I'm transporting into Amazon Web Services servers. Okay, completely migrating it into that.
Yes.
So, will the data get lost? Will it match? Will it get encrypted? Will it get garbled? Okay, so these are all different concerns which people had. So, what they did was they provided certain templates that you please provide us the data in such kind of templates and such kind of tools, and you can easily migrate into that. So, over a period of time, these templates also have been matured. Okay.
Yes.
The third concern was integration. Now, earlier it was okay, you had everything in one place, so you could connect very easily. Okay, but now you are having things in the cloud. Okay, you have something on Amazon Web Services, you have something on Microsoft Azure, you have something probably on GoDaddy. Okay, so you're trying to connect all these things together. But with the advances in technology, you have the APIs for real-time integrations. You have the networks that are supporting this kind of high speed of data transfers or real-time data transfers. Okay, and also if you look at traditional methods, you have the batch mode of integration where you can transfer data in batches for non-critical applications. Okay, just imagine the case where you can, if you withdraw the money from one ATM in Kandivali and go to the branch in Kandivali and it is not reflecting over there, what will
Yeah.
happen?
So
Right? So that is the kind of criticality of integration that needs to happen each and every time. Okay. So that is the third concern on data migration integration that would be there.
yes, sir. So some there is some modules in ERP solution. So can you give the light on the what are the typical module on typical ERP solutions?
Uh, Modules on
Yeah,
the typical modules that are
ERP
available in the ERP solutions. Okay,
solutions. Yes, sir.
right. So, like we said in the discussion, in the evolution. So, where did it start from? It started from inventory control,
Yes.
right? So, inventory control was one of the basic modules that was available in the ERP solution, and mostly manufacturing organizations used it, right? And why was manufacturing also using it? Because as an industry, they were the guys who were having the processes documented very well. Okay, in manufacturing, they'll
Yes.
do a step one, step two, step three, step four, step five. So it was kind of easy to actually automate those processes. All right.
Yes,
So
sir.
inventory control is one of the key modules. With if I extend this further, you have the production module where you're actually managing the entire production life cycles of the deliveries that need to happen. Okay. Now each of these modules that I'm describing has one core component to it. Okay. So like for example, in inventory, you will have something known as an item master. Okay, where you're describing or detailing out each and every item that is available as a part of your inventory. Okay. And of course, then you have the application of whether it is a raw material, is it work in progress, or is it finished goods? And then based on that, you would do your costing
Yes,
also,
yes,
right?
sir. Yes.
So the next thing that came up was on the costing front. So finance and accounting played a important role. So you had the next module called finance and accounting. So finance and accounting consists of. Can you tell me what are the basics? What would be there in accounts? What would you do in accounting? You're a systems guy, so
Yeah. So actually, the balance sheet.
very good. So you'll have something like that. So balance sheet or the general ledger.
Yeah, general ledger.
Okay. So
Ledger account.
ledgers, right? And you'll have the general ledger and you'll have the accounts receivables and account payables
Yes.
that are as the major functionality as a part of the finance module, right?
Yes, sir.
So now finance has two aspects. So when I say accounts payable and accounts receivables, now accounts receivable means that your money I'm now getting in.
Getting back.
So money comes into the organization when my customer pays for it.
Yes.
Okay. So it's something known as order to cash process. The customer gives the order and that order gets converted or realized as a cash. Okay.
Yes,
And
sir.
accounts payable will be your procure to pay process where you're paying the supplier. Okay. So you're
Yes,
placing
sir.
an order with the supplier and then paying them on it. Okay. So that was on the finance and accounting side. So you have two processes out there, which is your order to cash and procure to pay, right? Uh, then you move into, yes, you need to manage people. People are your biggest asset in your organization. So that is where the HR module comes into place. So the core for HR module is, if you've seen HR or if you have in your HR subject also, how do they describe the organization in terms of what? Or a picture, what will they show you in terms of a picture for an organization?
The
Very
triangle.
good, yes. So it is like a
Pyramid. Yes.
pyramid. Okay, so HR will always describe it in terms of a pyramid. So it is
Yes.
nothing but your organization hierarchy. So the
Yeah.
core module for HR is the definition of organization hierarchy, where you describe what are the companies, what are the organization units, departments, functions, and how an employee is associated with each of the departments. So in an organization, one person will be reporting when you say boss. Okay, so that's a reporting relationship
Yes.
to the manager. So in that core, it has to be maintained that way. So that is the core module from HR. Now HR has to do a lot of other peripheral activities, right? So they will be hiring people. Okay. So hiring is one of the other modules. So now it's known as talent acquisition. Okay. Onboarding is another module. Employee life cycle events. So once the employee enters the organization, right, you will be allocating them to a particular project or particular unit. So allocation or joining happens during that time. You have transfers, you have promotions, confirmations, probation periods. Okay, all these different life cycle events are there that need to be considered.
Yeah.
And ultimately, what do you get after you have worked so much? What do you get?
Salary.
Very good. Yes, it's payroll. So Payroll is
Yeah.
one very important module of HR. Okay, so that's what you get paid for, and you get paid for the work done and the number of days you are present.
Working. Yeah.
So yeah, so leave and attendance is also one very important part of it.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
now you have worked really hard, you're getting salary, a consistent salary. Okay, now after 6 months you get bit anxious, or 1 year you get bit anxious. Was I'm not getting a promotion? A lot of cost increasing. Now what to do? Okay, so for that aspect, they have gotten something known as a performance appraisal or
Mm-hmm.
performance management, where your performance will be evaluated. Okay, so performance management is one very important module of HR. Okay, now once you are getting promoted, you also need to understand, yes, which role will you fit better. Today you'll start maybe at an entry level or an executive level person, maybe a programmer analyst, business analyst kind of role. Okay, and how do you become a, let's say, a business unit leader, right? So there will be a journey or a career path for it.
Yes.
So this career path and career development, succession planning form the other modules of HR, and all of them work on the core of your organization module itself, the organization unit that you have set up earlier. So
Yes,
that
sir.
was from HR perspective. And last but not the least, you had the procurement part of it, where you're going to procure material from suppliers, which consists of two processes, which is your supplier source to contract and procure to pay. Now, when you do source to contract, means I'm sourcing the material from the suppliers. Now, today in a year, if I tell you you require a 10,000 notebooks in your institute, okay, 10,000 notebooks. So will you go and purchase every time from the stationery person one notebook and then give it to them? Or will you go to, let's say, Muhammad Ali Road and buy 10,000 in bulk, or set a contract with that Abdul Rahman Street guy and say, okay, please supply me thousand batches for the entire year, and here's the contract. So that's what exactly you do in source to contract for procurement, where you contract with the vendor and say, okay, this is for 1 year or 5 years. You got to supply me so much material. Right? So that is the source to contract, and procure to pay would be our purchase order to invoicing, supplier invoicing. So these are some of the basic modules that are there from an ERP perspective. Of course, there are a lot many things. Yes, yesterday SAP has announced advertising and media as a different solution altogether. Okay, so a lot of changes happening on the definitions of the modules itself. Sorry, I can't hear you once again. Nope. No, I can't hear you. Fine. So let me try and see. We have so many modules that are there in the ERP solution, right? So uh, many a times we get confused which module to implement first, what to do next. Okay. So there is a typical life cycle of the ERP that we can consider here. Various stages, the fixed stages that we can go through. Okay. The number one aspect is, what is the purpose? Today, uh, even in today's workplace, you need to define a purpose of why you are having that particular job or why you're having that particular role. Similarly, implementing an ERP is not just like a one night dream and you said, okay, let's do an ERP implementation tomorrow. It needs to have some kind of purpose, some kind of objective associated with it. Okay. So now when the objective is, what would be some of the objectives that the business could achieve by implementing an ERP solution? Okay. Number one is, yes, achieving operational excellence. Like we said, reducing increasing the efficiencies, I would say, and reducing costs. Okay. So that would be one of the objectives, that you need to reduce the turnaround time of processes. You need to reduce wastages. You need to reduce cost by so much percentage. Okay. you need to introduce more, customer or supplier or employee in intimacy. Okay. You need to make decisions much more better. It can help you improve decisions much more better. Or it could be simply for survival purposes, right? When GST was introduced into India, many of the MSME people bought Tally. I mean, it completely gave or retransformed Tally's business altogether. The Tally had that GST component. So many of the MSMEs just bought Tally just in order to survive and ensure that they are GST compliant. Okay. So just for survival, it could be there. Okay. So the first aspect is to introduce why we are doing it, what is the purpose, what is the objective. Okay. And this is known as the planning of the ERP solution, the first step, where we are actually articulating the requirements. Now, requirements, when I say system persons will understand, yeah, requirements, we need to understand the requirements first. Okay. But what do we mean by requirements actually? So, requirements consist of number one, where are you going to implement the ERP? What is the coverage? Which companies will you implement it? Which locations? Which employees will you do it for? Which business processes are you considering to implement the ERP solution? So the first aspect of requirements, the coverage aspect of it, right? When I say, let's say if I'm doing it for a group company, okay, in a group company there might be multiple lines of businesses, and in multiple lines of businesses, I might pick up one line of business where I might want to implement the ERP solution, and then I might go in for, yes, which business processes within that line of business I would like to implement. So I'll define the coverage first. The next, I will define the functional requirements. Okay, that each function should operate in this manner. Okay, where I would say, yes, when I click on this button, the record should get submitted, or it should give me a late mark, or it should show red, yellow, green. That are known as functional requirements. After defining this functional requirements, you also have something known as non-functional requirements, which are articulation of something known as how will you integrate, how will you migrate data for the first time, what are some of the testing aspects that you do, what are the networking requirements, what is the architecture model that you're considering, what is the release plan. Okay, because now you're on the cloud, so cloud person will give you certain releases and updates on your phones. You get, right, phones, that update is available, please run the update. Yeah. So similarly, you'll get on the ERP solution that, yes, please run this kind of updates. So that is where you have the non-functional requirements, definitions of disaster recovery, business continuity planning. That all would come as your, we call it as NFRs. Okay, non-functional requirements. Okay. So apart from this, you have other requirements known as timeline requirements. When do you want to go live? Okay, you need to define in the requirement that 3 months from now. Okay, or this will go live in a year. Okay, or before Christmas, or before Diwali. Today, if I'm implementing something for you in the future group, I might not want to go live during peak seasons and disrupt the business, right? I might want to go live before that, where I can do enough testing and then actually do a dry run for them, and then go and implement it, and so that they can get the results in the peak season like Diwali. So the timeline requirement is important. You have commercial requirements. Okay, commercial requirements is, yes, how much you are ready to pay to the vendor. What is the budget? Okay, are you ready for lump sum amount? Are you ready to buy licenses? Are you ready to do on a subscription model? So your requirements regarding commercials are also very important. And sometimes as a systems management person, we are very much focused on the technical components. Okay, will a server, infrastructure, database, storage, application. Okay. And we forget about the key aspect, which is the human resource. Behind the computer, there is one person required to operate or to support or to implement. Okay. There will be people from the business that are required to do something. So you have the aspects of your resource requirements also to be published. So you need to
Yes, sir.
define. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
audible,
Yes, I can hear you.
sir.
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah, so So, so my next question will be the what are your views on the worldwide ERP market?
Yeah. So the ERP market, yes, it's growing. You have, I think it was pegged at around 50 billion, okay, in 2019-20, and growing at a rate of around 7.4 or around 7 to 8% CAGR. So
Yes,
it's kind of a very good growth market, and a lot of migration that is happening from on-premise to the cloud-based solutions. So we are seeing almost like 30 to 30% of the market is on now the cloud. Okay, so you still have the remaining people yet to migrate, you know. So that's a big thing. If you talk about market players, the tier one players are your SAP. So SAP S4 HANA is the latest version of the ERP solution from SAP side. Oracle Fusion Applications is the tier one from the Oracle
yes,
perspective. You have a lot of tier two ERP solutions like Infor, Sage, Workday, NetSuite. All these are different kind of tier two kind of ERP solutions that are there in the market, available in the market. Yeah? And depending upon your requirements, you need to evaluate and choose the right ERP solution that is best suited for you. Okay, every time you can't say yes, the tier one is the best, so I'm going to go in for the best. Okay, and that is where many of the people go wrong in choosing the right ERP solution. Okay, evaluate the ERP solution how you want to use it. Okay, so if you are an MSME or if you are a mid-tier company, you can evaluate in different ways, because you shouldn't forget the base that if there is no process, you will not be automating it. Tomorrow, today you buy a mobile phone with 10,000 features. Okay, are you able to hear me?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I
Okay.
can.
Yeah. Okay. So if you are having a mobile phone with 10,000 features, okay, you're not going to use all the 10,000 features, but you have paid for it.
Yes, sir.
But when you're getting an ERP, the cost of procuring that particular ERP is much more higher than the mobile phone. So you need to be very careful as to what functionality and features you're going to use. Because without a process, that functionality or feature will be useless to you or worthless to you. Right? So you need to define, yes, what kind of ERP you need, what are the processes that are there, what are the training requirements,
Hmm.
skill requirements that you will need in the organization. What is the business case? I think as a systems management student, building a business case for any kind of new solution should be definitely one of the things that you will be doing, okay, in the future, in the near future rather, I would say. That any company or any organization, if they want to bring in new applications, you have to show some cost benefit analysis. Okay, you have to show them a business case that, boss, today we are incurring a cost of so and so, and if you implement this system, these are the quantifiable benefits that you will achieve because of implementing this solution. So have a proper business case assigned to, or develop for the same. Choose a particular vendor which is which will help you implement it properly, which has experience, which has certain skill sets to implement this kind of solution. So these are some of the do's and don'ts also. uh, my crux is, yes, it should have a process. Please spend more time on defining or articulating or designing the process that you want to have implemented in the ERP solution, and then map the solution to the processes altogether. Right. Uh, yeah, Pranav. Pranav, you're there? Am I audible, people? Yeah, you're back again. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, the we are getting some interesting questions in comment section. So Poonam Patel asked that has AI impacted the ERP processing in organizations?
Uh, yes,
The impact
definitely.
of AI, artificial intelligence. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, so definitely yes. So AI is a new component that has been added on to the ERP solution. So if you visualize it here, you have the underlying business process and you have enabled it through the application. Okay, now added an artificial intelligence layer on top of it. So whatever data that gets processed or captured or even shown or displayed back to you is now intelligent data that is coming back. Okay, so for example, if I'm implementing this for an energy company, the energy company will actually look at the consumption patterns and then decide upon, yes, what should be the redistribution that could happen. Now, in earlier days, you just had the consumption data coming in and you had the production data that is there. Okay, and because of the intelligence now that has been built in, you can even decide your pricing plans that you are given for customers. So yes, definitely it impacts the way in which you are delivering the ERP, or what's the ultimate usage of the ERP solution. We are living in a world of experiences, and our experiences are based on the intelligence patterns that are developed by the different transactions that we do in our daily lives.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for the valuable information. So, but before we wrap up, sir, I would like to ask one last question. How can we prevent the failure of ERP's implementation, or it is have some alternative solution to that?
Right. So here, like we said, number one is defining your processes right, choosing the right
Yes.
ERP solution that addresses your requirements, choosing the right vendor. Okay, vendor which implements the solution is also very important. They should have the necessary skill sets that are there. ERP is not a one-time implementation. Okay, once you go live, you require support services to be there. So you need to have good support contracts in place also for the same. We can reduce it. We can reduce the chances of failure by, defining the timelines when you want to go live. Okay, you can reduce certain risks by introducing an element of organization change management. Okay, so tomorrow, if you give the applications to the workforce, they should be able to operate it. So they should be able to be trained on it, right? Yeah, it requires a stakeholder and leadership commitment without which ERPs cannot be implemented. Okay, it will not be accepted within the
Yes,
organization.
sir.
Right? So these are some of the points that are there from a practice perspective, from a best practice perspective, so that you can avoid failure in an ERP. You can reduce
Yes.
risks.
So,
Yeah, you can.
yes, sir. So thank you so much, sir, for this all the information and guidance. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have discussed the enabling business with cloud-based ERP solution. With that, I would like to thank Mr. Rahul Mehta, sir, for giving us a valuable time and attending a discussion. Also, I would like to thank from my core of heart, Shri Sunil Rane, sir, Executive President, Atharva Group of Institutes, Dr. R.G. Ratnaut, sir, Director at Atharva Institute of Management Studies, and Dr. Shubhilal Agarwal, ma'am, Chief Coordinator of IQAC, Atharva Institute of Management Studies, for the guiding us and avail us the chance to introduce IT Talk Show. Thank you for joining us, and stay tuned for IT Talk episode 4. Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, the management of Atharva Institute, and also Director Sir, as well as Shubhi ma'am, and of course you students for organizing such a nice chat show. And I'm looking forward to being participant to such more IT talks in future. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, welcome, sir. Welcome. Thank you so much, sir.